It's 3:45 a.m. pitch black, outside 15 degrees below zero. While you're buried under electric blankets in your heated bedroom, an Amish mother is standing barefoot on a frozen wooden floor, lighting a kerosene lamp in the darkness. What happens next will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about morning routines. In the next 20 minutes, you'll discover 15 Amish winter morning rituals that most outsiders have never witnessed. You'll see how they survive temperatures that would send us running back to bed, why waking at 4 a.m. in the dead of winter isn't just routine, it's deeply spiritual, and the shocking reason their morning habits might actually solve problems we're facing in our modern world. By the end, you'll never look at your own morning routine the same way. Some of these practices are over 300 years old, and scientists are only now discovering why they work. Picture this. While most of America sleeps comfortably in climate-controlled bedrooms, something extraordinary is happening in Amish communities across Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana. It's not just early rising. It's an entire way of greeting the winter dawn that hasn't changed in centuries. The average Amish family wakes between 4 and 4:45 a.m., not because they have to, but because their entire worldview revolves around maximizing daylight. Without electricity, every minute of natural light is precious. But here's what most people don't realize. The first person awake isn't always who you'd expect. Number 1. The 3 a.m. vigil. In many Amish households, the mother rises at 3 a.m. a full 2 hours before the rest of the family. Not to scroll through her phone or check emails. She's preparing her husband's lunch, filling his water jug with hand-pumped water, and, most importantly, starting the coffee. But wait, there's no coffee maker. To make morning coffee, an Amish woman must first start a fire in the wood stove just to heat water. A day, imagine that. Before you can have your first sip of caffeine, you need to successfully start a fire in a freezing cold kitchen in total darkness, using only a kerosene lamp for light. Number 2. The silent fire ritual. Now, this next part will surprise you. Throughout the night, someone must wake periodically to feed the wood-burning stove, because if that fire dies, the entire house temperature can drop dangerously low within hours. But here's where it gets interesting. This isn't seen as a burden. It's considered a sacred duty. The person who maintains the fire, usually the father or oldest son, sees themselves as the guardian of the family's warmth. Amish families often gather around the single heat source rather than heating individual rooms. How? Which creates something we've lost: forced family proximity. Think about that for a moment. When was the last time your entire family had to be in the same room just to stay warm? This inconvenience actually creates opportunities for connection we've engineered out of modern life. Number 3. The barefoot test. Here's something that shocked me. Many Amish men and women deliberately step onto their cold wooden floors barefoot first thing in the morning. Why? It's a form of what they call morning awakening. A jolt to the system that's better than any alarm clock. Layers upon layers of handcrafted fabrics become essential for winter survival, creating insulation that traps heat close to the body. But before those layers go on, there's this moment of voluntary discomfort, a reminder that comfort must be earned, not assumed. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds extreme, but wait until you hear what comes next. Number 4. Morning prayer in the darkness. After waking, Amish families often begin with prayer or devotional reading, but in winter this happens in near-total darkness. By candlelight or kerosene lamp, they spend 15 to 30 minutes in spiritual preparation before the workday begins. This isn't just religion, it's psychology. Starting the day in quiet contemplation before the chaos of chores and responsibilities creates a mental buffer. Modern sleep scientists are only now discovering what the Amish have known for 3 centuries. How you spend your first 30 minutes awake determines your entire day's mental state. Number 5. The ice water face wash. Now this routine separates the dedicated from the comfortable. Many Amish homes don't have running hot water on demand. That morning face wash? It's with water that's been sitting in a pitcher overnight in an unheated bathroom. Some families place their wash basins near the wood stove the night before, but that water still isn't warm. It's just not frozen. Imagine splashing ice-cold water on your face at 4:30 in the morning. Your body's response is immediate: increased circulation, heightened alertness, a surge of cortisol that jump-starts your entire system. Studies on cold exposure therapy show that this practice, which the Amish have done for generations, can increase metabolism by up to 16% and boost immune function. They weren't trying to be healthy. They simply didn't have a choice, but their necessity became our science. Number 6. The family fire circle. Around 6:20 a.m., after initial chores, Amish families gather for devotional time together. But in winter, this gathering serves a dual purpose. Everyone congregates around the wood stove, the only significant heat source in the home. Children arrive, sleepy-eyed, wrapped in quilts. Parents settle into designated spots. For 10 to 15 minutes, the family exists in this bubble of warmth while the edges of the room remain frigid. It creates a physical reminder. Together, we're warm. Apart, we're cold. The metaphor isn't lost on them. Number 7. The pre-dawn barn trek. Here's where Amish winter mornings reveal their true character. Amish men and older children head to the barn around 5:30 a.m. to begin animal care, in whatever weather awaits them. Snow, ice, wind that cuts through multiple layers. None of it stops the routine. But here's the fascinating part. They move with deliberate calm. No rushing, no complaining, just quiet, competent work. One Amish farmer explained it this way: the animals didn't choose to be dependent on us. We chose to be responsible for them. Winter doesn't change that truth. This is fascinating, but there's more. Number 8. The kitchen fire dance. Now let's talk about the Amish woman's domain, the winter kitchen. While the men are in the barn, women and older girls begin making breakfast, often including farm-fresh eggs, home-cured bacon, fresh fruits, and homemade bread. But remember, they're cooking on a wood stove. Many Amish have 2 cook stoves, a gas one for hot weather and a wood-burning one for cold weather. The winter stove isn't just for cooking, it's heating the entire kitchen area. Managing a wood cook stove is an art form. Too hot, and you burn the breakfast. Not hot enough, and nothing cooks. You can't just turn a dial. You must understand fire, wood types, airflow, timing. This knowledge, passed from mother to daughter, represents centuries of accumulated wisdom. Number 9. The laundry line gamble. You want to know what truly tests Amish resilience? Monday morning laundry in January. Washing clothes is considered one of the most extremely cold jobs in winter. Imagine hanging clothes on an outdoor line in below-zero temperatures without wearing gloves, because your wet hands would freeze to the fabric. Some families hang laundry in their basements, but many communities consider that a luxury. The traditional method: hang wet clothes outside, where they literally freeze solid on the line. Hours later, you bring in stiff, frozen garments and finish drying them near the stove. Why endure this? Because in Amish culture, cleanliness and order reflect spiritual discipline. The difficulty of the task doesn't exempt you from the standard. Number 10. The bread prep ritual. Here's a routine that demonstrates incredible foresight. On bread baking days, many Amish women prepare everything the night before, measuring ingredients into bowls, getting the kettle ready, so they can start baking immediately after morning fires are going. But why this urgency? Because bread baking serves multiple purposes in winter. It provides food, yes, but the oven also radiates hours of warmth throughout the house. Bread baking day means a warmer home all day long. This kind of multi-purpose thinking has been engineered out of modern life. We specialize, they integrate. Every action serves multiple functions. Number 11. The hot stone bed warmer. Now, here's a practice that sounds almost medieval but is brilliantly practical. Some Amish families use old-fashioned bed warmers filled with hot rocks or water to preheat beds on cold nights. Before electricity, this was the only way to avoid climbing into an ice-cold bed. A brass bed warmer, filled with hot stones from the fire and wrapped in cloth, gets slipped between the sheets 30 minutes before bedtime. An antique brass bed warmer can hold heat for up to 8 hours. Think modern technology has made us more comfortable? Maybe, but it's also made us dependent. Every Amish child learns, if you want comfort, you must create it yourself. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds unsustainable. But wait. Number 12. The firewood economy. Here's something most outsiders never consider. Cutting and stacking firewood is one of the major preparations for winter, often requiring families to spend part of the year preparing enough wood for the cold months. But this isn't just practicality, it's theology. An Amish father teaching his sons to split wood is teaching them that June's work prevents February's suffering. That foresight matters. That delayed gratification is a virtue. Compare this to our society where we adjust a thermostat without ever thinking about energy sources, supply chains, or future costs. The Amish relationship with warmth is intimate and earned. Ours is distant and assumed. Number 13. The passive solar secret. Here's where centuries-old wisdom meets modern science. Newer Amish homes are strategically built facing south to capitalize on winter heat from sunlight. Large, south-facing windows capture sunlight, creating a natural greenhouse effect, while thick curtains or shutters prevent heat loss at night. They're using passive solar design, without calling it that. They're implementing thermal mass principles, without an engineering degree. This isn't primitive living. This is sophisticated environmental adaptation. Modern architects are now discovering these techniques and marketing them as innovative green design. The Amish have been doing this for 200 years. Number 14. The communal wood sharing. Here's a practice that reveals the true power of their community system. In Amish schools, all parents pitch together in the fall, bringing wood to school for the winter. No one calculates who brought more or less. It's simply shared responsibility. This extends to families in need. If an Amish family faces hardship, illness, death, financial struggle, neighbours quietly stack extra firewood near their home. No announcement, no recognition expected. Just silent, practical love. Imagine if modern society operated this way. Actually, you don't have to imagine. You're seeing it in action. Number 15. The evening ash ritual. The final winter morning routine actually begins the night before. Managing a wood stove requires understanding fire, wood types, airflow, and timing. Before bed, the stove must be carefully banked, loaded with specific woods that burn slowly. Airflow restricted just enough to keep coals alive but not create flames. This is where experience becomes essential. Bank it wrong, and you wake to a dead fire and a freezing house. Bank it right, and morning coals can be blown back to life with minimal effort. The person responsible for banking the fire carries the weight of the family's comfort through the night. It's a role of honour, a practice of stewardship, a nightly act of service. Here's what all of this reveals about modern life. After learning these 15 routines, let's examine what they really mean. The Amish aren't simply living without electricity. They've created an entirely different relationship with comfort, effort, and time. The time paradox. By starting their day around 4:45 a.m. and going to bed between 8:30 to 9 p.m., Amish families align their sleep with natural circadian rhythms. No blue light suppressing melatonin. No artificial extension of daytime into late evening hours. Modern sleep medicine now confirms what the Amish have practiced for generations. Humans aren't designed to be awake after 10 p.m. and asleep past 6 a.m. Our insistence on conquering darkness with artificial light has created epidemic sleep dysfunction. The Amish didn't plan to be healthier. They just never altered their natural biology. The comfort crisis. Here's the uncomfortable truth these routines reveal. We've engineered struggle out of modern life, and we're suffering for it. The Amish approach, embodied in their saying, "Use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without," creates resilience through regular challenge. Every Amish child who learns to start a fire, milk a cow at 5 a.m., or hang frozen laundry is developing what psychologists call stress inoculation. Small, manageable difficulties that build capacity for larger challenges. We've removed all those training opportunities from modern childhood. Then we wonder why anxiety and depression rates soar. The community algorithm. Here's what shocked me most. The Amish don't have social media, but they have actual social networks that function better than any app. Their similar sleep routines help synchronize activities and allow them to work together in harmony, creating a cohesive community environment. When everyone wakes at the same time, goes to bed at the same time, and faces the same daily challenges, you create shared experience, the foundation of all real human connection. Digital connection isn't breaking down by accident. It's breaking down because it's trying to replace something that requires physical presence, shared struggle, and mutual dependence. The modern application. So, what can we actually learn from Amish winter morning routines? You don't need to abandon electricity or move to Pennsylvania, but you could. Start your day 15 minutes earlier in silence before checking your phone. Let yourself experience cold water on your face. Prepare tonight for tomorrow morning's success. Understand where your heat, water, and food actually come from. Share resources with neighbours. Value discomfort as training, not enemy. These aren't restrictions. They're liberations from the tyranny of effortless comfort. Warning. There's a reason Amish communities aren't shrinking. They're growing. 4 out of 5 Amish children choose to remain in the church despite having the freedom to leave during Rumspringa. They're not trapped. They're choosing. What does it say about modern convenience when given a choice? 80% of young people exposed to both worlds choose the harder path? Maybe, just maybe, we've confused easier with better. Those 15 winter morning routines? They're not about surviving cold weather. They're about choosing a life where every comfort is earned, every warmth appreciated, and every day begins with gratitude for what previous generations built. While we sleep in until alarm clock jolts us awake, scroll through phones before our feet touch the floor, and complain when the thermostat is 2 degrees off. Amish families are experiencing something we've lost. The deep satisfaction of meeting a challenge, and the profound connection that comes from needing each other. Maybe they're not the ones living in the past. Maybe we're the ones who forgot how to be human. The Amish winter morning routine isn't about rejecting modernity. It's about remembering that struggle creates strength, discomfort builds character, and the hardest path often leads to the deepest satisfaction. What we can learn from these 15 practices is that convenience and comfort aren't the same as happiness and fulfillment. Every time we engineer difficulty out of life, we also remove an opportunity for growth, connection, and the earned pride that comes from overcoming challenge. The Amish aren't suffering through their winter mornings. They're experiencing them fully, which is something most of us haven't done in decades. Next time, we're exploring something even more fascinating. The Amish approach to raising teenagers in a world of digital temptation. and why their methods are producing more emotionally stable young adults than our modern parenting techniques. You won't believe what they do instead of screens. If learning these 15 routines made you rethink your own morning habits, show me by hitting that like button. I read every single comment about what surprised you most. Leave a comment and tell me, which one of these Amish winter morning routines could you actually incorporate into your modern life, and which one would be absolutely impossible for you? Be honest. I want to know what resonates and what feels too extreme. Subscribe to the Amish Lifestyle for weekly deep dives into traditional wisdom that's more relevant than ever, because next week I'm revealing how Amish families survive entire winters without electricity, and the shocking reason their method might actually be safer than ours. And if these winter morning secrets fascinated you, watch this video next, where I uncover 15 Amish parenting techniques that modern psychologists are only now validating, including one practice that completely eliminates the terrible twos.